Let's start with a reality check that is going to sting, but it is the only way you are going to grow. Most men are walking through the world with their hearts exposed, not because they are loving or kind, but because they are fundamentally unprotected. You have been hurt. You have been discarded. You have felt that cold, hollow sensation in your chest when a woman you cared about suddenly turned distant or walked away, and your instinct is to blame her. You want to point at her inconsistency, her cruelty, or her change of heart as the cause of your suffering. But I am here to tell you, from the perspective of the very people you are trying to understand, that she is not the problem. Your lack of emotional sovereignty is the problem. You are hurting because you handed over the keys to your internal kingdom to a guest who never asked for that much responsibility. Most men operate under the delusion that if they love hard enough, provide enough, or remain available enough, they can secure a woman's loyalty and protect themselves from pain. In reality, that very desperation is what makes you vulnerable. When you make your peace of mind contingent on how a woman feels about you on any given Tuesday, you are not being a romantic. You are being a victim. We, as women, see this dynamic long before you do. We sense the moment a man's happiness begins to depend on our text response. We feel the shift when his confidence begins to wilt because we are having a bad day. And the moment we feel that weight, the attraction begins to die, and your vulnerability begins to skyrocket. This video is not a guide on how to manipulate women. It is a guide on how to master yourself so completely that no external force, no matter how beautiful or persuasive, can ever leave you broken again. If you want to be untouchable, you have to stop looking for safety in someone else's arms and start building it within your own mind. You have to understand how we see you. Most men think they are being subtle, but your emotional state is written across your face and reflected in every word you speak. When you are constantly checking your phone, when you are overanalyzing a short reply, when you are trying to fix a vibe that feels off, you are screaming to the world that you are not in control of yourself. To a woman, this is not endearing. It is exhausting. We do not want the burden of being your sole source of validation. When you place that burden on us, you are essentially telling us that you are a house built on sand. One storm, one mood swing, one change in our life's direction, and you will crumble. And because we know you will crumble, we can no longer respect your strength. This is why you get hurt. You get hurt because you have made yourself breakable. You have chosen to live in a state of emotional reactivity rather than emotional proactivity. Think about the last time a relationship ended. Did it end because she was crazy, or did it end because you had become so dependent on her approval that you lost the very essence of the man she was originally attracted to? Most men lose their frame because they fear losing the woman. They start bending their rules, ignoring their boundaries, and silencing their own needs just to keep the peace. But there is no peace in a relationship where one person has surrendered their soul. You think you are being a good partner by being flexible, but from our perspective, you are becoming a ghost. You are disappearing into our shadow, and nobody can respect a shadow. To stop the cycle of heartbreak, you have to stop the cycle of surrender. You have to realize that your heart is your responsibility alone. No woman, no matter how much she loves you, is equipped to carry your self-worth for you. If you give it to her, she will eventually drop it, not because she is evil, but because it was never hers to hold. Let's talk about the behavior that ruins more men than anything else: the chase. You have been told that a man's job is to pursue, to win her over, to show her his worth through grand gestures and constant attention. This is a lie designed to keep you in a cycle of dependency. When you chase, you are operating from a position of lack. You are telling her, and yourself, that she is the prize and you are the contestant. You are signaling that your time, your energy, and your attention are worth less than hers. From a female perspective, constant chasing is a massive red flag. It tells us that you have nothing more important going on in your life than us. It tells us that your internal world is so empty that you need our presence to fill it. This creates an immediate power imbalance. The moment you are perceived as the one who needs the other more, you have lost your frame. You have become the predictable variable, and when a man is predictable and desperate, he becomes a target for unintended hurt. We don't wake up and decide to hurt you, but when you are always there, always pushing, always seeking, we naturally begin to take you for granted. Human nature does not value what is given away for free. If you are always available, if you are always the first to text, if you are always willing to drop your plans to see her, you are devaluing yourself in real time. You are training her to see you as an accessory rather than a partner. This is why, when she eventually pulls away, it hurts so much. You invested everything into the chase and left nothing for your own foundation. You have to learn the power of the pullback. Not as a game, but as a lifestyle. Your energy is a limited resource. If you are spending it all trying to secure someone else's affection, you are bankrupting your own spirit. A man who is untouchable does not chase, he invites. He builds a life so compelling, so disciplined, and so grounded that women want to be a part of it, but they are never the center of it. When you stop chasing, you stop giving away the leverage that people use to hurt you. Now we must deconstruct the lack of boundaries. This is where the real damage happens. Most men think that having no boundaries makes them easy to get along with. They think that by being the nice guy who never says no, they are earning points. In reality, you are losing respect. Boundaries are the walls of your emotional fortress. Without them, anyone can walk in and trample your peace. If a woman treats you with disrespect and you stay, you are telling her that your self-respect has a price. If she flirts with other men and you just try harder to win her back, you are telling her that you don't value your own exclusivity. If she cancels plans at the last minute and you immediately offer a different day, you are telling her that your time is worthless. Why are you surprised when you get hurt? You have literally given people a roadmap on how to mistreat you. From our side of the table, a man without boundaries is a man we cannot trust. If you won't stand up to us, you won't stand up for us. If you don't have the backbone to tell us no when we are out of line, we know you don't have the backbone to lead. And when a woman feels she is with a man she can walk over, she will eventually walk away. The pain you feel in these moments is the friction of your own lack of self-worth. You are hurting because you are betraying yourself, and your soul is screaming at you to stop. Setting boundaries isn't about being mean or controlling, it's about being clear. It's about saying, this is what I accept, and this is what I do not. If you stay within these lines, we are great. If you cross them, I am gone. The power to walk away is the ultimate protection. If you are not willing to lose her, you can never truly have her. You will only ever have a version of her that knows she can manipulate your emotions because you are too afraid of the silence that comes when she is gone. To become truly untouchable, you have to reimagine yourself as a mountain. A mountain does not care if it is raining. It does not care if the sun is shining. It does not care if hikers are climbing it or if they are staying away. The mountain simply is. This is the essence of frame control. Your internal state must become independent of external circumstances. Most men are like weather vanes, spinning wildly with every shift in a woman's mood. If she is happy, he is soaring. If she is cold, he is depressed. This is a miserable way to live. It is also the least attractive trait a man can possess. We are drawn to the mountain, not the weather vane. We want to know that no matter how chaotic our own emotions might be, you are the steady ground we can return to. But here is the secret. You don't do this for us. You do it for you. When you master your emotional responses, you take the weapon out of the hands of anyone who might seek to hurt you. If a woman decides she no longer wants to be with you, it should be a loss, yes, but it should not be a destruction. If your identity is tied to your own mission, your own health, your own brotherhood, and your own growth, then a breakup is just a change in scenery, not the end of the world. This is what it means to be untouchable. It means that your cup is already full. Whatever a woman adds is just the overflow. If she leaves, the overflow goes with her, but the cup remains full. Most men are walking around with empty cups, begging women to pour into them. When she stops pouring, they die of thirst. Stop being thirsty. Start being the source of your own hydration. This requires a level of detachment that feels dangerous at first. You might think, if I detach, won't I stop caring? No. Detachment isn't about caring less. It's about needing less. You can love a woman deeply while simultaneously knowing that you would be perfectly fine if she disappeared tomorrow. That is the highest form of masculine power. It is the ability to give love without the strings of dependency. You need to understand that detachment is actually the most loving thing you can do for a relationship. When you are attached and needy, your love is actually just a form of hidden selfishness. You aren't loving her. You are using her to regulate your own emotions. You are using her to feel okay. That is a massive weight to put on another human being. When you detach and become self-sufficient, your love becomes a gift, not a trade. You are there because you want to be, not because you have to be. From a female perspective, this is incredibly liberating. It allows us to show up as our best selves because we aren't constantly worried about breaking you. When a man is untouchable, he creates a space where a woman can actually feel safe. Ironically, the less you need her, the more she will want to stay. But again, your focus cannot be on keeping her. Your focus must be on the maintenance of your own frame. Every morning, you must decide that your peace is non-negotiable. You must audit your thoughts. If you find yourself spiraling into anxiety about a woman, you must cut that thought off at the root. You must remind yourself, I am the prize. My time is the asset. My peace is the priority. This isn't arrogance, it's self-preservation. The world is full of people who will happily use your emotional energy to fuel their own egos. If you don't guard that energy, you will be bled dry. The untouchable man isn't a man who doesn't feel pain. He is a man who doesn't let pain dictate his actions. He acknowledges the sting, processes it, and returns to his mission. He does not send the desperate text at 2 a.m. He does not beg for an explanation. He does not stalk social media to see who she is with. He moves forward because his value isn't tied to a ghost. We see the men who have mastered this, and we speak about them in hushed tones. They are the ones who don't seem to need anything from us. They are polite, they are charming, and they are present, but there is an invisible line that we know we cannot cross. There is a sense that if we act up, they will simply disappear without a word. And that is the most powerful position a man can hold. It's the ultimate deterrent to bad behavior. When a woman knows that you have the internal strength to be alone and happy, she will treat you with a level of respect that a needy man will never experience. You have to stop fearing the end of things. Everything ends. Every relationship, every life, every moment. If you spend your life trying to prevent the end, you will never truly enjoy the middle. The fear of being hurt is actually what causes the hurt. It makes you tight, reactive, and insecure. When you let go of the fear and accept that you can handle anything life throws at you, the hurt loses its power. It becomes just another data point. If a woman is unfaithful, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of her character. If she leaves for someone else, it's not a rejection of you, it's a redirection for her. When you stop taking the actions of others personally, you become a ghost to the pain. It passes right through you because there is nothing for it to latch onto. You have no ego involved in the outcome. You are simply a man living his truth, and others are free to join you or leave you. This is the final stage of ownership. It is the realization that you are the architect, the builder, and the inhabitant of your own emotional world. No one else has a lease there unless you sign it. So where do you start? You start by cutting off the supply lines of your own weakness. Stop the constant checking. Stop the overinvestment in early dating. Stop making her the topic of every conversation with your friends. Start investing that time back into your body, your career, and your mind. Build a life that you are so proud of that a woman's presence is merely the cherry on top. If the cherry falls off, the sundae is still delicious. Most of you are trying to build a sundae out of nothing but cherries, and you wonder why it's a mess. The female authority you seek is actually just a mirror of your own self-perception. If you view yourself as a servant to your own desires, we will treat you like a servant. If you view yourself as a king who is selective about his court, we will compete to be in it. But you cannot fake this. You cannot act like you have frame control. You have to actually possess it. You have to be willing to sit in the silence of your own company and be content. You have to be willing to see a woman you love walk away and say, I wish you the best, and mean it because you know your own value doesn't change based on her location. This is the hard path. It is much easier to stay in the cycle of chasing and crying, blaming and hurting, but that path leads to a life of resentment. The path of self-mastery leads to a life of freedom. It leads to a place where you can engage with women from a position of total strength. You can be vulnerable in the sense of being open and honest, but you will never be vulnerable in the sense of being breakable. You are the master of your heart. You are the guardian of your peace. You are the only one who gets to decide how you feel when you wake up in the morning. Take total ownership of your history. Every time you were hurt in the past, look at where you gave your power away. Where did you ignore the red flags? Where did you compromise your boundaries to keep her around? Where did you make her your god? Don't blame her for taking the power you offered on a silver platter. Forgive her, and more importantly, forgive yourself. But promise yourself that it will never happen again. Not because you'll become a hermit or a hater, but because you've leveled up. You are playing a different game now. You are playing the game of the untouchable man. This is the man who understands that his heart is a temple, and he is the high priest. He decides who enters, how they behave, and when they are asked to leave. He is not a victim of love because he knows that true love starts with self-respect. When you finally reach this state, something magical happens. The hurt you used to fear becomes an impossibility. You might feel sadness, you might feel disappointment, but you will never be shattered. A diamond cannot be shattered by a hammer. It can only be polished. Be the diamond. Let the pressures of your relationships and the challenges of the world only serve to make you more brilliant. Stop looking for a woman to save you, to fix you, or to complete you. Save yourself, fix your own life, complete your own mission, and then, and only then, will you find that you are no longer a man who can be hurt. You will be a man who is respected, a man who is desired, and most importantly, a man who is free. The choice is yours. You can keep giving your power away to every pretty face that smiles at you, or you can take it back and become the man you were always meant to be. Own your heart, control your frame, be untouchable. This is the only way forward. The world is waiting for you to step into your power. Don't keep it waiting any longer. Start today. Start this second. Decide that your emotional state is your sovereign territory, and no one has the right to invade it without your permission. You are the king. Act like it.